revolution.
Intifada revolution.
Intifada revolution.
Resistance is justified.
Resistance is justified.
And Palestine is our demand.
Palestine is our demand.
No peace on stolen land.
No peace on stolen land.
And Palestine is our demand.
Palestine is our demand.
No peace on stolen land.
No peace on stolen land.
When Palestine is on your... What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be mobilized the Intifada.
Mobilize the Intifada.
From New York to Gaza.
New York to Gaza.
Globalize the Intifada. Palestine.
Long live Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Long live Palestine.
Long live the Intifada.
Intifada, Intifada.
Intifada, Intifada.
Long live the Intifada.
Long live the Intifada.
This is not acceptable.
This is not acceptable.
Jerusalem's our capital.
Jerusalem's our capital.
This is not acceptable.
This is not acceptable.
Jerusalem's a real. Go to hell.
Israel, go to hell.
Sellers, sellers, go back home.
Sellers, sellers, go back home.
Palestine is our home.
Palestine is our home.
Sellers, sellers, go back home.
Sellers, sellers, go back home.
Palestine is our home.
Palestine is our home. Not just annexation, not just occupation.
Of the Palestinian community in exile in pursuit of our liberation, and we stand here today in New York City on March 17th in front of the United Nations building, which represents the same entity who split Palestine when it was first created, who gave our land away when they never had the right to give our land away. And we stand here in solidarity with Jenin, Nablus, and Hawara and all of Palestine. And we are joined by all of you to defend the Palestinian right to resist and mobilize as a part of the International Week of Action to liberate the remains of Palestinian martyrs. So we know that Palestinians are killed. We know that Palestinians are imprisoned. But did you know that Palestinians who are killed also then are imprisoned after they are murdered? Meaning that they don't give their families back to their body to allow them to bury them in dignity and peace, because they use their dead bodies, which they keep in refrigerators, as bargaining chips, as tools against Palestinian people. We hope that more people know about this, about one of the many cruelties of the faces of cruelty and genocide that this Israeli state inflicts on the Palestinian people. This is part of an international week of action that we hope people will continue to speak about in coming years. Over 150 organizations have endorsed the campaign and the week of action, which is from March 11th to March 18th. In recent days, they have been protesting in Palestine, Germany, France, and they've been having seminars taking place throughout the week online in Arabic with English translation, featuring the parents, the family members of martyrs whose remains are withheld by the Zionist occupation. And you can feel the pain of these families in two simple words that they use throughout this campaign and in their hashtag. Bidna Ladna, which in Arabic means we want our children. They want to be able to bury their children. There are over 250 documented Palestinian martyrs whose bodies are held in the cemeteries of numbers, where Palestinians are buried with numbers rather than their names, not even their names. And there are over 130 Palestinian martyrs' bodies that are currently being held in the occupation's morgues, buried with number plates rather than tombstones or name tags. We are bringing this campaign and bringing the demands of the martyrs' families to the streets of New York City Last year, we had our protests for the same reason, where we represented the dead Palestinian bodies that are being held by Israel. This is an ongoing issue, and they will continue to keep killing more Palestinians and imprisoning them unless we stand against it. While the U.S. is complicit in the Palestinian genocide by providing over $3 billion in aid annually to the Israeli military, and the United Nations drones on and on about human rights, we know that this is not applicable to our people. It never has been. Instead, institutions like these facilitate imperialism that make it possible to plunder and colonize our lands. So we don't stand here in front of this entity expecting that they are going to deliver justice for the Palestinian people. But it's on us to remind them that they are complicit in this genocide, and as much as they want to forget about it, as much as they want to turn away from it, as much as they want to shut it down in the media or silence anybody who talks about it, we will never forget the people of Palestine, and we will make sure everybody in New York City remembers them as long as we are colonized and occupied, and until every single inch of Palestinian land is free.
Yo, bro.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
Resistance is justified!
Resistance is justified!
When people are colonized!
When people are colonized!
So free Palestine!
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 From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
We will free Palestine!
We will free Palestine!
Within our lifetime!
Within our lifetime!
So free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
We don't want no two-state!
We don't want no two-state!
We want all of it!
We want all of it!
We don't want no two-state!
We don't want no two-state!
We want all of
Our
it!
message is simple. Palestinian bodies, murdered Palestinians, are not bargaining chips. We're out here today because Israeli institutions, not just the Israeli government, Israeli institutions and the society as a whole is guilty in oppressing Palestinians through means of holding Palestinian bodies that were slain by Israeli forces. One thing that we call for in our movement is holding anybody who is an accomplice in the Palestinian oppression accountable. And what does that look like? Institutions in the United States, educational institutions, have relationships with institutions in the Zionist state that are complicit in Palestinian oppression. For example, Tel Aviv University. As recent as 2022, Tel Aviv University held the bodies of 63 Palestinians killed by Zionist military forces, including the remains of Ahmed Arikat, who's extrajudicially executed by occupation forces in June of 2020. We can ask 1,000,001 questions and talk about, what about investigations into their murders? Or what about this, or what about that? But we're gonna cut through all of that, and unequivocally, we're gonna say no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what their justifications are, that is unacceptable. To hold Palestinian bodies hostage is not acceptable, and they're not gonna gaslight us into any other conversation that is going to try to rationalize it. We're here talking about it today because nobody is talking about it. And we're not going to be told that bringing this up and standing out here and saying that a and fight back and defend themselves is wrong. We're not going to take that. Because we are worthy of dignity. We are worthy of self-determination. We are entitled to our bodies, what's the word I'm looking for? Our agency even in death. And Palestinian families are more than deserving of justice. And that is why we are out here today. And no matter what mainstream narratives try to do to justify this disgusting practice, just like we talk about with any other movement, when they don't want us to talk about black bodies being killed on the streets in this country extrajudicially, when we talk about releasing information. In New Jersey right now, we're dealing with a brother in Patterson who was shot on March 3rd, who was having emotional and mental health struggles at the time. And they try to justify by saying that he has a knife. And so you shot him dead. Right? So you're justifying his murder. And that is unacceptable. And we say no justification to the oppression of anybody. We're going to call it out for what it is, and we're going to fight, and we're going to stand up, and we're going to say, when people are occupied, resistance is justified.
Resistance is justified.
When people are occupied, resistance is justified.
Resistance is justified.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Special settlers Zionist state.
Special settlers Zionist state.
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more.
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more.
The aggression of the Zionist state to the Palestinian people. Most recently, the Zionists attacked the people living in the Jenin refugee camp, in Nablus, in Awara, and they have killed an unprecedented amount of Palestinians just in the last 2 months and 3 months of this year alone. And now they are still holding these bodies hostage. We demand to release these bodies, and we want to clarify that the settlers misquoting the Torah and misrepresenting the Jewish religion to justify all their crimes it's everything Israel stands for is illegitimate, it's against humanity, and it's a violation of Jewish law. We are standing here and we demand to end the occupation in its entirety and to free all of Palestine. Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
And the occupation now!
And the occupation now!
And the occupation now!
And the occupation now!
Thank you very much.
The casket was set to them bolted shut. But his mother, Mamie Till Mobley, said she wouldn't stand for that. She yelled to the undertaker, she said, "Give me a crowbar, give me anything. I'm going to open the casket. I want everyone to see. I want everyone to see what they did to my baby. I want the people of the world to see what's happening in Mississippi, what's happening in the United States." And so they did that, and they took the body across the country. And because of that, people were so moved that the entire civil rights movement was ignited just from that moment. So Israel, they learned from this kind of stuff. It was 65 years ago, it's not a long time. And they try to perfect the types of oppression that the US engineers and invents. They try to take it one step further. The oppression of humanity, they try to progress it. And so now they've gotten to the point where they don't even give you the body, where they don't even let you have a burial of any sorts, whether it's closed or open. That's the level of barbarity that they have. To quote one of the mothers of the martyrs, Abdul Hamid Isroor, she says, "The one thing that the occupation never gives us is clarity. They don't tell us that this is the body of your son. They don't tell us that this is the body of your brother or your uncle or whoever. Sometimes they even switch bodies. There are confirmed reports of them saying, this is your cousin or whoever. And then you find out later through a DNA test that they were lying. They lie all the time. They've advanced this technology because they know the power of mourning and the power of remembering people. The power of knowing that these people that passed, they were heroes. The people who fight against the occupation, everyone wants to attend their funeral because they're shuhada, they're martyrs. It's a beautiful thing. Many of the families, they talk about this, and yes, they're sad, and yes, it's very difficult for them to talk about, but they're proud. They're proud to have had someone in their family that passed away in this honorable way. And the Zionist entity, they know this, and so they want to make sure that this kind of stuff doesn't go anywhere. That they even put stipulations when they hand over the bodies on the number of people who can attend the funeral, on the number, the time in which you host the funeral. They can force you to host it very late at night or very early in the morning. They put all these different stipulations to make sure that what that person did, that kind of resistance, doesn't spread. They know the power of this kind of stuff. And so you can see there's a straight line between the oppression that was engineered originally here in the United States and the kind of oppression that's carried out in Israel. That's something we always talk about, but this is a very material, clear example of this kind of linkage. Israel learns from its older brother, from its father, from US imperialism. The US war machine needs Israel, and Israel learns from the US war machine. They have a coextensive relationship. And that's why, as one of the mothers of the Shuhada says, we have to understand that these people, they fought and they died for all of us. Not just Palestinians, not just Arabs, not just Muslims, all of humanity. They're raising the bar on what it means to be human. They're doing something honorable for all of us. And they're combating the people who want to lower the floor of humanity, who want to bring us back 100,000. Civilization, we had burials. Even before civilization, we had funerals. So they're taking us back as far as they possibly can. That's the kind of enemy that we're dealing with. And that's why we need to encourage anyone who fights against them. And that's why we need to stop the US war machine. From Palestine to the Philippines. From Palestine to the Philippines.
From Palestine to the Philippines.
Stop the US war machine.
Stop the US war machine.
Thank you.
From Palestine to Mexico.
From Palestine to Mexico.
All the walls have got to go.
All the walls have got to go.
From Palestine to Mexico. Intifada, intifada.
Intifada, intifada.
Long live the Intifada!
Long live the Intifada.
From New York to Gaza!
New York to Gaza.
Mobilize the Intifada!
Mobilize the Intifada.
New York to Gaza!
New York to Gaza.
Mobilize the Intifada! Again, one more time, for the cameras, for the media, for the people taking pictures and videos up there, that we are sending a message to the world, all the people of the world, and to the United Nations, that you are on the wrong side of history. And when people finally wake up and understand that they have been complicit in the genocide of Palestinians, and how could the world let this happen, they will remember that the UN was one of the facilitators of our genocide. They will remember so many of these world governments, especially in the US, were the facilitators
get no justice.
If we don't get no justice,
We don't get no justice.
if we don't get no justice, if Jose gets no justice, if Jose gets no justice, if Jose gets no justice,
To the river, to the sea. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. If we don't get it, what do we want? What do we want? If our partners don't get it, free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free our martyrs. Free our martyrs. Free them all. Zionism will fall. Free our martyrs. Free them all. Zionism will fall. Free our martyrs. Free them all. Zionism will fall. Free our martyrs. Free them all. Zionism will fall. Free our martyrs. Free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Shut it down!
I can't hear you. What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want it? What do we want? If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
shut it down. Shut it down. Louder.
Shut it down!
Louder.
Shut it down! Shut it down!
Shut it down. Shut it down. Louder.
Shut it down!
Shut down the United Nations. Why? Because we're here to deliver a simple message. We're here to deliver a simple message that they shut down the Zionists. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a Zionist United Nations. That's why they shut it down. It's always unheard. It's always silence in the media. We're here because our people are under brutal attack every single day, and they are ignored. So we will not let their voices be silenced. We will not let their voices not be heard. We went in front of the main building and now at the gates of the United Nations. So again, if you work here, please tell the people who come through these doors every single day that the colonization of Palestinians and devour them. This is what we see here. Let them know that we came out here today for Palestine and we will continue to come out until every single inch of Palestine is free. So again, before we leave, to make our message crystal clear, because if they don't see us, it will be heard.
Everybody get up on the stairs.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
Free our martyrs!
Free our martyrs!
Free them all!
Free them all!
Zionism will fall!
Zionism will fall!
Free our martyrs!
Free our martyrs!
Free them all!
Free them all!
Zionism will fall! Zionism will fall!
Zionism will fall!
There is only one solution. likely see you on the streets again during the month of Ramadan, because this is especially when they try to attack us. They think that this is when we are most weak and vulnerable. What they don't know is that whenever they attack us, our resistance continues to grow, not only from within Palestine, but from outside. And this is what we have to show every day. If you took a banner, a flag, anything from us, please return it on the side of the steps, on the bottom of the side of the steps over there, so that we can bring it.
And we will free Palestine.
We will free Palestine.
Within our lifetime.
Within our lifetime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
There is only one solution.
There is only one solution.
Intifada revolution.
Intifada revolution.
There is only one solution.
There is only one solution.
Intifada revolution.
Intifada revolution.
Resistance is justified.
Resistance is justified.
And Palestine is our demand.
Palestine is our demand.
No peace on stolen land.
No peace on stolen land.
And Palestine is our demand.
Palestine is our demand.
No peace on stolen land.
No peace on stolen land.
When Palestine is on your... What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be mobilized in Intifada.
Mobilize the Intifada.
From New York to Gaza,
New York to Gaza.
globalize the Intifada. Palestine,
Long live Palestine.
free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Long live Palestine.
Long live the Intifada.
Intifada, Intifada.
Intifada, Intifada.
Long live Intifada.
Long live the Intifada.
This is not acceptable.
This is not acceptable.
Jerusalem's our capital.
Jerusalem's our capital.
This is not acceptable.
This is not acceptable.
Jerusalem's a real. Go to hell.
Israel, go to hell.
Settlers, settlers, go back home.
Settlers, settlers, go back home.
Palestine is our home.
Palestine is our home.
Settlers, settlers, go back. And we will free Palestine.
We will free Palestine.
Within our lifetime.
Within our lifetime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
There is only one solution.
There is only one solution.
Intifada revolution.
Intifada revolution.
There is only one solution.
There is only one solution.
Intifada revolution.
Intifada revolution.
Resistance is justified.
Resistance is justified.
When